Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends at the Get-Go Cafe and Market, where Taylor, we've been in a habit for a long time of talking about what it is that they have and what they're offering and everything else. Right now, they're at a place that's open.
Yeah, and what you can do, you can order on the app, it's the Giant Eagle app. It's not a Get-Go, it's our Giant Eagle app, mobile ordering. You don't have to talk to anyone. You order, you pay on the app, they put it on a table for you, go pick it up.
Oh, I didn't know this.
In and out, you don't got to touch anything, talk to anyone.
That's really cool. So you just like go in there and you just type in like, I want the captain. And
yeah. You can do all the customization on the app.
Wow,
Same
okay.
deal, you just don't have to talk to a single person.
See, don't say you never learned anything
Giant Eagle app.
on an episode of Java. We learned some stuff this week about the Penguins. Finally, it's been so quiet, not just really with this franchise, but across the NHL. They've really hunkered down.
Yeah, they only want really the top execs talking. But yeah, finally got Jim Rutherford today. Yeah, some good stuff out of that. Jake Gensel, was the biggest thing. He believes if we do get hockey again at some point, he could play in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's to me, I found that to be significant because we had not heard anything other than seeing Jake as you and I and Dave did, without the sling on.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he can be back to participate in playoffs. It doesn't mean that he didn't have a setback. It doesn't mean that things hadn't gone wrong with the shoulder in the interim. And the most important thing that I heard from Jim Rutherford in this conference call was that there were no setbacks.
Yeah, no setbacks. I mean, I still don't know how. They're talking, mid-May at the very earliest. They could
Which
start
isn't going to happen, yeah.
It's not, yeah. But so I mean, that's still a while away. I know the last home game they had here, he was still in the press box during the game, and normally the guys who are like close or like healthy, they won't be in the press box during the game. They work out during the games.
Right, they stay downstairs.
So the fact that he was up there with Angelo, so that probably meant that those guys were not able to work out yet. But yeah, so that's not a bad sign. It's because Jim said no setbacks.
Because here's the thing, Jake goes into this. Look, no matter when they emerge from this, the first thing we're going to see is playoffs. There's not going to be games 71 through 82.
Yeah.
So the first thing that Jake Gensel is going to experience, let's say they match up with the Flyers, which by the way is how this would go if it was just a plain 1 through 8, which I'm not sure that it will be. The first action that he gets is going to be getting his brains beat in. You know what I mean? There's not going to be that transition period.
Yeah, well, and I was thinking about it earlier. They would have to start. He could only come back in the playoffs because he's on long-term IR. They're not cap compliant if they take him off long-term IR. There's no cap in the playoffs. No. So if there are regular season games, unless they do something weird with the cap, like they can't take him off.
No, I know that, but I don't think it's going to end up being a problem.
No, but I mean there are a few teams around the league.
I was going to say
like
Vladimir Tarasenko is another one in St. Louis. You're going to have issues with the Avalanche, who have a lot of guys on IR. It's one way or another. The next thing we're going to see is playoffs. On one hand, it's good news, and on the other hand, you still worry about him a little bit, you know? Now, Jake Gensel is clearly going to benefit more than anybody else, just because he'll be able to participate if and when hockey returns. But is there anybody else that jumps to mind that might be someone that you go, wow, this break, if you will, for lack of a better way to put it, really benefited them?
I could see Jared McCann just because when was the last time he scored?
Oh,
he really wasn't scoring.
That's true.
Maybe this kind of reset, time off, could be like a fresh start for him.
Yeah, who would be, unless evil people like us up in the press box would be counting, well, this is McCann's 21st game in a row without a goal. Well, we don't remember the other 20 because they were so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple guys that have droughts like that. They got a couple other injuries too. Aston Reese, so it'd be good to get him back.
Yeah. Well, you'd have that whole line. And you and I were talking before the break about whatever happened to Brandon Tanev.
Right, yeah.
I mean, now you could theoretically have that whole line come together and look good and look strong.
Tanev,
all of them. And actually, Teddy had kind of faded off a little bit too.
You're right.
And I think having all those guys, but if I had to pick one player that might benefit the most is a guy that I think a lot of Penguins fans have forgotten about and probably shouldn't. That's Justin Schultz.
See, I was just about to say, because he was really heating up before the break.
Yeah.
But I don't. Would this break be bad for him because he was, so hot? Would this put a stop to that? Because I was gonna say he's loving it.
Yeah.
I think this break would be bad for.
Yeah, and maybe because you have to get your legs going again. To me, I felt like Schultz and his shortcomings, ever since he came back from the injury, were a result of him just not being 100%. I mean, we can only guess at this stuff because these guys are never honest with us about that. But I would like to have seen Schultz. And really, you know what? Jim Rutherford was very candid in saying that he felt his whole team would benefit, that he felt that all of them kind of slowed down a little bit, I think was his terminology, after those first 3 months of playing so hard and relentlessly and everything else. But you're right. Imagine coming back again.
Yeah.
In game one, you've got to all of a sudden be going at warp speed. You can't simulate that in Cranberry.
No, I mean, Gensel, who would you put? We've seen a lot of guys on the top line. Who would you put with Gensel, Crosby?
To me, I'm leaving Jason Zucker up there.
Okay.
I don't. Do you care which wing they're on? I don't think Jake
I
does.
don't, no, I know. I mean, yeah, he's played a lot on both. I don't.
Zucker has said he doesn't care where he plays.
There's so many guys have been out. There's so many different injuries at wing. I don't like what. So who are Malkin's wingers?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm glad you brought this up because I have Brian Rust on the right wing. Duh. Okay, that's the easy one.
So who's the other one?
You first.
I don't know.
See? See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Because the temptation is to go with someone who's kind of would let them freewheel and whatever else. But Rust is already that guy. Rust is going to be back.
So you want like a finisher? Are you saying?
I want Patrick Marleau.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Why else do you get Patrick Marleau? Now, you can get into all these, well, no, that puts Patrick Hornqvist on your fourth line, and he shouldn't be there. Okay, but if Hornqvist is on your second line, then Rust is playing on the wrong wing. And Rust's game does dip when he's on the left wing.
Okay, so
yep.
Second line, third line, Zarbluger, Tanev, fourth line.
I mean,
so we gotta. There's what
your fourth
you
line
have McCann, Bukestad, Hornqvist,
which was a really good line in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In fact, arguably the Penguins' only good line in the playoffs.
So you think they scratched Dominic Simone?
That's where this was headed all along. You see how I trapped her? I got her.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening either. We've had two running themes on Java this week. One is that we found statues. The other one is that we have pestered each other in the final segment with what we're doing with our miserable lives right now. So Taylor, what are you doing with your miserable life right now?
You know, trying to fill time between eating.
That's all right. Go ahead. They're waiting.
Doing a lot of NHL 20.
Uh-huh. I saw the Wheeling Nailers, by the way. Congratulations on their
beating
victory
the Ottawa
over the Ottawa
Senators.
Senators.
That was legit.
Yeah.
I adjusted nothing. I had
Nope.
I didn't play.
Alex Dorio in net. Taking down Craig Anderson at the other net.
Been playing The Sims. Getting out of bed at 2 o'clock.
She means PM, by the way.
Yeah.
And by the way, if we were permitted to fist bump right now, we'd be doing that because a certain other person has also been sleeping in really pretty dramatically.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone out twice. I went to the grocery store once because I ran out of aluminum foil. I've been eating a lot of fish. Can't eat fish without the foil.
No, you got to have the foil.
God, now I'm here. I don't know. Been trying to do phone interviews, which is
like that.
I like doing phone interviews with Wilkes-Barre guys, getting head coach Mike Vellucci.
Well, that's actually a good thing to bring up because, you know, one thing that we've all been encouraging each other to do on a staff is to just stay in touch as much as you can, and sometimes. I've done some of that on Twitter, direct messaging, texting, whatever, phone calls, whatever it takes. But if you can share with people what you told me about these Wilkes-Barre players in particular when you called them for interviews here, these guys were like thrilled to hear from you.
Yeah, sorry, I had an idea. I just wanted to know what they were all up to after. So I wanted to do a story on that. I sent out a text, copy and pasted the same message to 10 guys. I heard back from all but 2, and you know I knew the 2 were like traveling. I'm not gonna say who ghosted me, but
rhymes with
no. No, they all pretty much got back to me right away. And
Right, because they're just sitting there.
Yeah, well, not at the end. I remember I would thank them for taking the time to talk to me. And I know, like, P.O. Joseph was like, well, I wasn't doing anything else.
Yeah, right?
I was like, okay, I
Well,
guess.
thank you for calling.
Yeah, no, they were all very good about that. They're not, because they were all in Wilkes-Barre at the time. Since then, a lot of them have gone home.
And we're going to start seeing, I think, now that the NHL's, the mandatory quarantine period has been extended, but once that has elapsed, and already there's a video conference call with Metropolitan Division players for Thursday, including Sidney Crosby. Jim Rutherford's now spoken. You're starting to see on social media, Brandon Tanev put something up, just, hey, Penguins fans, whatever,
Well, they've all been, not on Twitter, but Instagram. A lot of them have been pretty active. I've been following them on Instagram. I know a lot of the guys are, like, the American guys, like Aston Reese, Russ, Sherry, they're all still here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they all kind of live together because their dogs are hanging out. I've seen a lot of that.
This is accurate.
It's Brandon Tanev, like, never posted on Instagram
In his
at all.
life,
Well, no,
yeah.
he maybe twice during the season. And every day he's been posting a GIF from Seinfeld with no words. So I don't know what he's up to. Chris, they've been doing.
He's a different dude. Okay, as long as we're clear on this.
Yeah, they've been doing different challenges. Like, there's like a push-up challenge where a guy has to do like 10 push-ups, and then they like tag a bunch of guys. Like, now you have to do 10 push-ups. And
This is how they're keeping each other in
Chris
shape.
Letang, he did 10 push-ups. He had Alex on his back. He challenged a bunch of guys. They're all doing like TikToks. You know TikTok?
My daughter does.
Okay.
But way to
So
age
Gen
me there,
Z-
yeah.
Well, I think I'm a little old for TikTok. I don't know. It's like a Gen Z thing.
Uh-huh.
But they've been doing a lot of TikTok challenges. There's one where like a guy has to stand up and his girlfriend like starts out on his back and has to like, without touching the ground, like,
I don't know. I
climb in
saw
a
this. Did you
Good
see who
Branson-
did it?
Well,
Not in hockey. Did you see who pulled this off?
a bunch
this
of
week?
guys have done it.
Ryan Shazier pulled it off.
Oh, okay. I did not see that.
Ryan Shazier took, I think, like this fairly large person
Yeah.
and did that. Is this what you're
Yeah.
talking about? And they go over the back
Yeah,
and then
like,
they come
well,
out.
the guy,
and
like,
the other person
he
does not touch
stands-
the ground.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just kind of has to stand still and like support it, while the other person like climbs over them. I don't know. I've seen like Good Branson, Ryan Kessler did it. A bunch
But
of
Ryan Shazier
yeah, Ryan Shazier's a big
doing
deal. I
it.
didn't know
That's
he did
pretty
it.
cool.
But it's been funny seeing all the NHL guys do it. I've seen a lot of them posting riddles to like their Instagram stories. It's like, a mother has four. Your mother has 4 kids. North, south, east. What's the fourth one? And
Yeah.
like they all say west, but like no, it's you. But then it's like, oh, if you get it wrong, you have to like post like who tricked you. So I've been seeing like every day like 5 different NHLers post like so and so, like I saw like Casper Bjorkquist did it the other day.
The best part about this whole segment, I just have to say in closing here, is when you see Taylor looking off, it's because an actual human goes by on the sidewalk. That's
This is
how
most
desolate
people
it is.
I've seen.
And this is rush hour on a Wednesday night in downtown Pittsburgh, which is crazy. Thanks for watching.